What is going on, YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now, as it does help these videos get to the public and the channel to grow overall. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly, almost every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you don't miss a single one of those videos that I post. It's only right to you guys. So I was watching the Carolina Panthers play the Houston Texans this past week. The Texans ended up losing 16-10, and Deshaun Watson was sacked 6 times in that game. And he's been sacked 18 times on the year this year. Not ideal. Through 4 games, he's been sacked 18 times. And I gotta tell you, my takeaway from this game was, I am worried about Deshaun Watson. I am worried about his future. I'm worried about his health. I'm worried that the Houston Texans are going to ruin this man's career. I worry that Deshaun Watson might be forced to retire a little bit earlier than expected, or potentially his career might not last as long because the Houston Texans have done a poor job supporting this man. They've done a poor job of protecting him. I'm also going to talk about a little bit later in the video why I think the Texans will be better off if they move on from Bill O'Brien. I gotta tell you right now, I'm a huge Deshaun Watson fan. I really am. I'm all in on this kid. I am. He's my second favorite quarterback in the NFL, behind one Aaron Rodgers. I love me some Deshaun Watson, and I'm all in. I was all in coming out of college. This is the same guy in Deshaun Watson who Nick Saban saw twice and had several days to prepare for him, and twice he torched Nick Saban's defense in the national championship game. He lost one of them, but it was not his fault because he played his part in that first one. And the second time, he went out there and won that national championship. Deshaun Watson, I knew he would be great coming out of college. Okay, and so far in the NFL, he's been great. Comes into the league, his rookie season was on pace to throw for over 40 touchdown passes before tearing his ACL. People forget, but Deshaun Watson was doing Patrick Mahomes type things his rookie year before he got hurt. Okay, he was that special his rookie year. The next year, Deshaun Watson goes 11-5, wins the division after going 0-3. He completes over 68% of his passes, throws for over 4,000 yards, has a passer rating of over 100. I mean, listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the Chicago Bears, they will forever regret the decision to not draft Deshaun Watson. I know they passed on Patrick Mahomes too, but I kind of even passed on Patrick. I kind of even missed on Patrick Mahomes a little bit too, because I thought Patrick Mahomes would be good, but I never saw this coming. Deshaun Watson to me was the safer pick, and they messed up on that. Mr. Trubisky and Chase Daniels are not going to get it done for the Bears. They messed that up. And through 27 career games, Deshaun Watson has 61 total touchdowns, 51 passing touchdowns, and 10 rushing touchdowns. So 61 total touchdowns, 51 passing, 10 rushing, okay? And I think Deshaun Watson, you could win multiple Super Bowls with this guy. So I'm all in on Watson. The Texans have hit it out the park at quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback in football to me right now. He's that good. I know there's some good quarterbacks, but Philip Rivers, Big Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan are kind of declining. So I think Deshaun Watson, there's a spot for him in the top 10. However, I am worried about Deshaun Watson's long-term health. I'm worried that he might become the next Andrew Luck. Deshaun Watson throughout his career has been sacked 99 times in 27 career games. That's atrocious. Last year, sacked 62 times. That doesn't even take into account the amount of times that Deshaun Watson was hit, the amount of times he took unnecessary hits, the amount of times he was on his back, the amount of times he had pressure in his face. Every time I watch the Texans play, I grimace and I just wince because I see this man getting hit every single play. And this guy's tough as nails, guys. He still comes out there and puts up good numbers and balls out despite having the worst offensive line in football. And he's been sacked 18 times this year. You can't last in the NFL taking these hits. I just think the Houston Texans are failing this guy, Deshaun Watson. He's not going to last if you continue to let him get hit consistently at this rate. You just can't let it happen. And I think that the Texans need to learn from the Indianapolis Colts, because for years, the Indianapolis Colts did not surround Andrew Luck, a top 10 quarterback at his time, and arguably maybe even a top 5 quarterback this past season. They did not surround him with the offensive line. He was constantly hurt, constantly banged up, and he was forced to retire. Andrew Luck did not retire because he didn't have a good team around him. The Colts surrounded him with the best team he's arguably had this season. Okay, but Andrew Luck retired because he was too injury prone. He was too banged up. He said, I can't do this anymore. I can't take any more hits. I can't keep carrying this team. I need to retire because I've just been hit so much. This offensive line has been bad for so many years. I have to retire. Don't be that. Don't be like the Colts, Texans fans. Keep your player Deshaun Watson intact. Don't make him be the next Andrew Luck. Don't force him to retire too early because the offensive line is so bad. He's always getting hit and hurt. That would be the legitimately worst thing that could ever happen to the Texans. Don't mess up a good thing. He already has had one ACL surgery in college. He had another ACL surgery already in his first season starting in the NFL. The guy's a little bit injury prone. Protect him. If he continues to get hit like this, he's not going to last. The way he plays, the fact that he's mobile, he's not going to last. And I think the Texans have done a poor job of surrounding him with a good offensive line. And listen, the Houston Texans cannot be Super Bowl contenders. You want to know why? Because the offensive line is bad. So I think the fact that the Houston Texans don't have an offensive line, it for one renders Deshaun Watson's health, but it also holds them back from being a Super Bowl contender. Look at the Final Four teams last year. The Patriots, the Saints, the Rams, and the Chiefs. Those are the four teams last year in the AFC and NFC championship games, okay? None of those teams have bad offensive lines. You look at all the elite Super Bowl contenders in the NFL right now. None of them, and I repeat, none of them have bad offensive lines. They may not have elite offensive lines, but the offensive lines are at least comparable and serviceable. The Houston Texans' offensive line is not even serviceable, guys. It's just terrible. It's not even serviceable. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Ravens, name any team you want out there. I guarantee you all the elite teams you look at have a good offensive line. And the Texans don't have it. So until the Texans fix this offensive line, Deshaun Watson is going to get wasted. He's not going to win a Super Bowl if you have a bad offensive line around him. You're just not. And again, when I watch the Texans play, their offense is limited because they don't have an offensive line. They had DeAndre Hopkins. They had Kenny Stills. They have Will Fuller. They have Kuti. Jordan Akins looks like a stud tight end in the making. But it's all going to waste because they can't fully execute their offense because the offensive line is so bad. This Texans offense should be a top 5 offense in all of football. This should be a team running the AFC, but they can't do it because the offensive line is terrible. The offensive line allows you to block up front. It's just bad. Now again, your quarterback is an asset. When you buy an expensive cell phone, you probably want to get a case so that if you drop the cell phone, it doesn't break. You probably want to get insurance in your car that's brand new because if it breaks or it breaks down or it gets wrecked or something like that, you have insurance to back it up. The offensive line acts as insurance for your quarterback. It acts as an asset to protect the quarterback. And the Texans just don't have it. Now again, before I get to my next point, the main job for a team with a good, young, solid quarterback is to get the offensive line right. It's not your job as a GM to get the defense right. It helps. It's not your job to get the wide receivers right. It helps. It's not your job to go out there and get all these skill position players. It helps, definitely. But in order to maximize your opportunity, you need a good offensive line. When's the last time Tom Brady had a bad offensive line? When's the last time Drew Brees had a bad offensive line? Patrick Mahomes has always had a good offensive line. You need an offensive line. And I think the Texans are just failing themselves by not getting an offensive line together. They're just failing themselves. Now again, they did trade for Laremy Tunsil, but again, I worry about that trade because, well, for one, it hasn't panned out so far. The Texans still are allowing a ton of sacks right now, but they gave up 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder for that trade. So as far as I'm concerned, Laremy Tunsil better not miss a block anymore this season. He better be a Pro Bowl level left tackle for many years to come. He better be, because if he's not, this is bad. And you already relinquish your future by trading away for one offensive tackle. Now again, you did get Kenny Stills in this trade, but again, I think you can find a Kenny Stills somewhere else. There are good deep threat wide receivers beside Kenny Stills in the NFL right now. So if I'm the Texans, look, you did draft Titus Howard, you did draft Max Sharping, but again, you need to continue to get better players in there because they're not cutting it right now. They're just not. They're not performing well. The Houston Texans have $90 million in cap space next year. If I'm the Texans, before you have to pay Deshaun Watson, because once you pay Deshaun Watson, you're not going to be able to re-sign a ton of free agents. You're not going to be able to go out and get a lot of free agents. You already gave it your future draft capital by trading for Laremy Tunsil. My gosh, the Texans organization makes me sick. They do. They make me sick. But in the offseason, the Texans will have $90 million in cap space. Before Deshaun Watson gets about $40 million in his next contract, okay, per year, before Deshaun Watson gets paid about $40 million per year, I would invest in that offensive line. In this offseason this year, you better go out and get 3 or 4 good offensive linemen to protect Deshaun Watson. Because once you do that, I think the Texans can be a Super Bowl contender for years to come. I really do. Just give Deshaun Watson an offensive line. You can be a good team and a Super Bowl contender with the offensive line. You have all the other parts. And also, guys, it's actually not the question for me if the Texans miss the playoffs this year. I'm going to be personally bummed out because I'm a huge Deshaun Watson fan. I want this guy in the playoffs every year. I think Texans fans will be bummed out too. But if you miss the playoffs this year, I will fire Bill O'Brien. So if you have a bad season, Texans fans, it's not the question. It actually may be a blessing in disguise because I think Bill O'Brien needs to go. This guy, Bill O'Brien, as a head coach, is not special. He's just not. In order for the Texans to maximize their Super Bowl window, they need to fire Bill O'Brien and they need to get Deshaun Watson on the offensive line. Do those two things and you'll be good. Because Bill O'Brien, he is terrible with schematics. He is terrible with in-game adjustments. His in-game decisions are terrible. And to me, he's not that good of a head coach. What does Bill O'Brien do well? Someone tell me what Bill O'Brien as a head coach does well. I will wait for that. Don't give me the defense. The Texans' defense should be good. They have had elite players on defense the past couple years. So the defense is not all on Bill O'Brien. It's not. What does Bill O'Brien do well? I want to know. I want to know. So bottom line for me is I love Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame type player. I think he has a chance if he gets a Super Bowl too to be a top 10 quarterback of all time. I love this kid. I think this guy has all the potential in the world. He can break any NFL record if he wants to. Deshaun Watson, the sky is the limit. I think Deshaun Watson's going to win about 2 or 3 MVPs before his career is over. But in order for Deshaun Watson to be considered great and for this Texans team to maximize their opportunities, they need to get the offensive line right. They need to get a new head coach in there. They need to do those things. Until those things happen, Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans will not prosper. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.